Chapter 9, The Price Puzzle, What Drives the Market? Question Answers from Grade 9, Subject Social Science, Part 1. The big questions. Question 1. What are the factors that influence the demand for and supply of goods and services in a market? Answer. Demand is influenced by the price of the product, consumer income, prices of related goods, taste and preferences, population, seasonality, and expectations about future prices. Generally, demand increases when price falls and decreases when price rises. Supply is influenced by the price of the product, cost of inputs, prices of related goods, number of sellers, technology, availability of resources, weather conditions, and producers' future expectations. Higher prices and improved technology usually encourage producers to supply more. However, rising input cost, resource depletion, unfavorable weather, or disasters may reduce supply. Question 2. How are prices of goods and services determined through demand and supply interactions? Answer. Prices are determined through the interaction of buyers' demand and sellers' supply. When demand exceeds the supply, there is a shortage. Buyers compete for the limited quantity, causing the price to rise. The higher price encourages sellers to supply more and may reduce demand. When supply exceeds demand, there is a surplus. Sellers may lower the price to sell their unsold stock. The lower price increases demand but may discourage some production. This process continues until the quantity demanded becomes equal to the quantity supplied. The resulting price is called the equilibrium price. Question 3. What is market equilibrium and does it exist in the real world? Answer. Market equilibrium is the point at which the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. At this point, there is neither excess demand nor excess supply, and the price tends to remain stable. However, equilibrium is rarely permanent in the real world because markets are dynamic. Changes in income, technology, wages, weather, consumer preferences, political events, pandemics, and natural disasters continuously affect demand and supply. Therefore, markets keep adjusting towards a new equilibrium rather than remaining fixed at one point. Question 4. How and why does the government intervene in the market? Answer. The government intervenes when markets produce unfair outcomes or fail to provide important goods and services. It may set a price ceiling on essential medicines to prevent overcharging or a price floor such as minimum wages to protect workers. It also regulates monopolies, hoarding, black marketing, and other unfair practices. The government provides public goods such as roads, streetlights, parks, sanitation, police services, and national defense because private companies may not find them profitable. However, intervention must be balanced because excessive regulations can create shortages, increase compliance burdens, and discourage production, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Let's explore page 200. Question 1. Create your own demand schedule for buying notebooks at different prices. At what price would you buy the most? At what price would you stop buying altogether? What could be the reason behind your choices? Answer. My demand schedule for notebook is column 1 price per notebook, column 2 quantity demanded. Rupees 20 6 notebooks, rupees 30 4 notebooks, rupees 40 2 notebooks, rupees 50 1 notebook, rupees 60 0 notebook. I would buy the most notebooks at rupees 20 each because they would be affordable within my budget. I would stop buying at rupees 60 and either postpone the purchase or search for a cheaper substitute. This choice is influenced by my limited purchasing power and the availability of notebooks at lower prices. Question 2. Ask your family members if they postponed or advanced buying any product because of future expectations of changes in price. Answer. A family member postponed buying a smartphone before Diwali because they expected discounts during the festival sale. Their expectation of a future price decrease reduced present demand. In another situation, the family purchased cooking oil earlier than planned after hearing that its price might rise. The expectation of a future price increases raised present demand. Thus, consumers may postpone purchases when they expect prices to fall and advance purchases when they expect prices to rise. Let's explore page 203. What happens to the supply of a product in case of a change in the cost of inputs, discovery of an alternate input, depletion of resources, change in weather, disaster, etc. Discuss in class using examples of diverse goods and services. Answer: the supply of a product changes when production conditions change. If the cost of inputs such as fuel, labor, or raw materials rises, production becomes expensive and supply may fall. The discovery of a cheaper alternative input reduces production cost and increases supply. Resource depletion reduces supply. For example, groundwater depletion can lower agricultural production. Favorable rainfall may increase crop supply, while drought or floods may reduce it. Disasters may damage factories, farms, roads, and electricity networks, reducing the supply of goods and services. Improved technology, such as drip irrigation or cold storage, can reduce cost and increase supply. Let's analyze page 204 using data from table 9.3. Plot the demand and supply curve at the three prices, that is rupees 40, rupees 100 and rupees 150. Identify and mark excess demand and supply on the graph. Think about how equilibrium could be reached in these scenarios. So friends, this is the table 9.3. Price, quantity demanded of mangoes, quantity supplied of mangoes, quantity supplied and quantity demanded, outcome. Take quantity of mangoes on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. Plot these points. So friends, these are the points x-axis, y-axis. This is for demand point and this is for supply point. Join the demand points to form the demand curve and the supply points to form the supply curve. At rupees 40, the shortage causes the price to rise. At rupees 150, the surplus causes sellers to reduce the price. Equilibrium is reached at rupees 100, where both quantity demanded and quantity supplied are 12 kg. So friends, this is the graph: demand, supply and market equilibrium. On x-axis, quantity of mangoes; on y-axis, price. In red, this is the supply. In blue, this is the demand. And these are the points you have to mark on the graph. And this point is equilibrium E, rupees 100 at 12 kg. Think about it, page 205. Can you think of another real life example other than hotels where prices change frequently? Explain why the prices keep changing. Answer: airline ticket pricing change frequently. When many people book tickets for weekends, festivals, holidays, or important events, demand rises while the number of seats remains limited. Therefore, ticket prices increase. Prices may fall when bookings are low or the departure date is still far away. Airlines also consider fuel cost, remaining seats, competitors' fares, routes, weather, and the number of days left before departure. Thus, airline prices keep changing because demand and seat availability continuously change. Question 2. Our choices today affect future resources. For example, high demand for fast fashion, overfishing, and overuse of groundwater can harm future supply. So, should we focus only on short term gains or also think about long term sustainability? How can this affect the market equilibrium? Answer: we should consider long-term sustainability instead of focusing only on short-term gains. Overfishing, excessive groundwater extraction, and wasteful production may provide immediate benefits, but they deplete resources and reduce future supply. When future supply falls, while demand remains high, shortages occur, production costs rise, and the equilibrium price increases while the equilibrium quantity decreases. Sustainable fishing, water conservation, recycling, and responsible consumption can protect resources and maintain a more stable supply. This helps markets meet present needs without reducing the ability of future generations to meet theirs. Think about it, page 206. Have you ever seen or heard of the government fixing prices or wages? For example, bus fares, medicines, or minimum wages. Share an example and why you think it was done. Answer: the government fixes the maximum prices of certain essential medicines. This maximum limit is called a price ceiling. It prevents sellers from charging excessively high prices and helps patients, especially those from low-income families, obtain necessary medicines. The government also sets minimum wages for workers. This acts as a price floor for labor and protects workers from being paid unfairly low wages. Such intervention is intended to prevent exploitation and promote public welfare. Let's explore page 207. From your surroundings, list two goods or services that are provided by the government, for example, roads, streetlights, parks, police, and so on. Choose one of the goods you listed and answer. Two government provided goods or services in my surroundings are first, streetlights, second, public roads. I have selected streetlights. A. Who benefits from it? Answer. Street lights benefit pedestrians, motorists, cyclists, shopkeepers, residents, and the police. They improve visibility and safety at night. B. Why would it be difficult for a private company to provide this service on its own? Answer. A private company may find it difficult because it cannot easily charge every person who uses the light. The service does not generate direct profit, although everyone benefits from it. C. Imagine the government stops providing this good or service. What problems might people in your area face? Answer. Roads would become dark and unsafe. The risk of accidents, theft, and other crimes could increase. People, especially children, women, and elderly persons, might feel unsafe traveling at night. Let's recall page 208. In the chapter Democracy, you have read that a democratic government is accountable to the people and is expected to act in their interest. First, according to you, how should a democratic government decide when and how much it should intervene in markets to protect people's welfare? Answer. A democratic government should intervene when markets cause exploitation, make essential goods unaffordable, encourage monopolies, or fail to provide public goods. Before intervening, it should collect reliable data, consult affected groups, and examine the likely benefits and disadvantages. Intervention should be transparent, fair, and limited to what is necessary. Policies should protect vulnerable groups without unnecessarily discouraging production, investment, and innovation. The government should regularly review the results and modify or withdraw regulations if they create shortages, excessive compliance burdens, or other harmful effects. Question 2. Whose voices should a democratic government consider while making such decisions? Consumers, producers, workers, or others? Why? Answer. A democratic government should consider the voices of consumers, producers, workers, small businesses, vulnerable groups, experts, and local communities. Consumers need affordable and good quality products. Producers require fair returns, and workers deserve safe conditions and reasonable wages. Considering only one group may create unfair results for others. Public consultations, surveys, expert advice, and discussions with representative organizations can help the government understand different needs. A balanced decision protects public welfare while allowing businesses, employment, production, and innovation to grow. Next, questions and activities. Question 1. An increase in income always leads to a rise in demand for goods. Defend or refute, giving reasons for the same. Answer. The statement is not always correct. The effect of increased income depends on the type of good. For normal goods such as better clothing or electronic items, demand usually rises when income increases. For inferior goods, demand may fall because consumers shift towards better quality alternatives. For necessities such as salt, an increase in income may cause little or no change in demand. Therefore, an increase in income does not necessarily raise the demand for every good. Question 2. If petrol prices double, what happens to A. Demand for diesel cars? Answer. The demand for diesel cars is likely to increase because consumers may consider them a substitute for petrol cars, especially if diesel remains comparatively cheaper. B. Demand for electric cars. Answer. The demand for electric cars is likely to increase because their running cost may become more economical compared with petrol cars. C. Demand for car accessories. Answer. The demand for accessories used mainly with petrol cars may decrease if people purchase fewer petrol cars or reduce their use. However, general accessories may continue to be demanded if consumers shift to diesel or electric cars? D. Demand for public transport. Answer. The demand for public transport is likely to increase because traveling by private petrol vehicles becomes more expensive. Public transport acts as a substitute for private travel. Question 3. A farmer traditionally irrigates fields manually, labor intensive. He installs drip irrigation, a technology upgrade that reduces water use by 40% and increases yield by 30%. How does this affect A. His cost of production? Answer. The farmer initially bears the cost of installing drip irrigation. However, over time, his cost per unit of output is likely to decrease because the system saves water and labor while increasing crop yield by 30%. B. His willingness to supply at different prices. Answer. Lower production cost and higher yield make the farmer willing to supply a greater quantity at different prices. He may also find it profitable to sell crops at prices that were previously too low. See the overall market supply if many farmers adopt this technology. Answer. If many farmers adopt drip irrigation, the overall market supply of the crop will increase. The supply curve will shift to the right. If demand remains unchanged, the equilibrium quantity will increase and the equilibrium price may fall. So as you can see in the figure, supply increases. So the supply curve shift to the right. Question 4. During online festival sales, the prices of many products are very low. Use the concept of demand and supply to explain why the sellers sell at such a low price. What happens to the equilibrium when the price is lowered? Does this benefit only consumers or sellers as well? Explain. Answer. During festival sales, sellers expect a large increase in demand. They may have additional stock and reduce prices to attract more buyers, compete with other sellers, and quickly clear inventories. If the price is lowered below the existing equilibrium price without an increase in supply, quantity demanded becomes greater than quantity supplied, creating excess demand. However, sellers usually prepare by increasing stock, which can create a new equilibrium with a lower price and higher quantity. Consumers benefit through lower prices. Sellers also benefit through greater sales, faster stock clearance, increased cash flow, and new customers. So you can see in the graph online festival sale, lower price, more sales. Question 5. Suppose the government sets a maximum sale price for an essential vaccine below the market driven price. What is likely to happen? Choose from the options below and elucidate your point. Answer. The correct option is B. Shortage. A maximum price fixed below the market equilibrium price is called a price ceiling. At this lower price, more people will demand the vaccine, but producers may be unwilling or unable to supply enough because their profits decline. Consequently, quantity demanded will exceed quantity supplied, creating a shortage. The government may need to subsidize production, increase public supply, or regulate distribution to ensure fair access. Question 6. The government levies higher taxes on products such as tobacco and alcohol to promote healthier choices among citizens. Could you find out other goods where price controls have been set in place? What are the reasons for the same? Answer. Examples of goods and services subject to price regulation include essential medicines. Maximum prices may be fixed to make life-saving medicines affordable. Food grains under the public distribution system. Rice and wheat are supplied at subsidized prices to ensure food security. Cooking gas. Subsidies may be provided to make domestic fuel affordable for eligible households. Electricity. Tariffs are regulated to protect consumers from excessively high charges. Public transport. Governments may regulate bus or metro fares to keep daily travel affordable. Such measures protect vulnerable groups, prevent exploitation, and ensure access to essential goods and services. Question 7. Can excessive government regulation hurt markets? Explain with suitable examples. Answer. Yes, excessive regulation can hurt markets. If the government fixes a very low maximum price, producers may reduce production because they cannot recover their cost. This can create shortages, black marketing, and poor quality products. Complicated licenses, frequent approvals, and excessive compliance requirements can also raise business costs and discourage small firms, investment and innovation. For example, an unrealistically low price ceiling on vaccines may discourage manufacturers from producing them. Therefore, regulation should protect public welfare while allowing producers to earn reasonable returns and markets to function efficiently. Question 8. In the table below, different prices of guava are given. A. Think and write how much guava you will buy at each price. Answer. The following is a sample survey table. Students may replace these quantity with their actual responses. B. Ask the same question to 3 of your friends and fill in the table. C. Also make a graph for each one of you and one final graph for the total quantity. Answer. Price rupees 100 per kg, you 1 kg, friend 1 1 kg, friend 2 0, friend 3 1, total 3 kg. Next price rupees 80 per kg, you 2 kg, friend 2, friend 2 1, friend 3 1, total 6 kg. Rupees 50 per kg, you 3 kg, friend 1 4 kg, friend 2 3 kg, friend 3 2 kg, total 12 kg. Next, rupees 20 per kg, you 5 kg, friend 1 6 kg, friend 2 5 kg, friend 3 4 kg, total 20 kg. For the graphs, take quantity on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. So friends, this is the graph. Quantity demanded on x-axis and price on y-axis. Plot the following points: u 1, 100, 2, 80, 350, 520. So friends, you have to plot these points into the graph. The blue one is for you, orange friend 1, green friend 2, purple friend 3, and this one total demanded. The table shows that the total quantity demanded increases as the price falls. Question 9. Visit the nearby vegetable market and try to find answers to the following questions. A. Who decides the prices of different vegetables in the vegetable market? Answer. Vegetable sellers decide retail prices after considering wholesale prices, transportation cost, availability, freshness, expected demand and competition. Buyers may also bargain with sellers. Thus, prices are mainly determined through the interaction of demand and supply. B. Sometimes the prices of a few vegetables are too high and sometimes too low. Why is this? Answer. Vegetable prices rise when supply falls because of poor harvest, unfavorable weather, transport problems, seasonal shortages or increased demand. Prices fall when there is a bumper harvest, low demand or excessive supply. Their perishable nature also causes frequent price changes. C. The price of tomatoes is high in the morning and eventually gets lower by the evening. Have you ever noticed this? Comment. Answer. Yes. Tomatoes may be expensive in the morning because they are fresh and demand is high. By evening, sellers lower prices to clear the remaining stock because tomatoes are perishable and may spoil overnight. The reduced price encourages buyers to purchase the unsold quantity. Question 10. Categorize the following combination of goods into substitute goods and complementary goods. A. Movie ticket in the cinema hall and popcorn. Answer. Complementary goods because popcorn is often consumed while watching a movie. B. Eraser and pencil. Answer. Complementary goods because an eraser is used to correct pencil writing. C. Laptop and computer. Answer. Substitute goods because a laptop and a desktop computer can perform many similar functions. D. Air conditioner and cooler. Answer. Substitute goods because either can be used to cool a room. E. Notebook and pen. Answer. Complementary goods because they are generally used together for writing. F. Apple and banana. Answer. Substitute goods because consumers may choose one fruit in place of the other. G. Mobile and earphones. Answer. Complementary goods because earphones are commonly used with mobile phones. So friends, we have completed question answers of chapter 9, the price puzzle, what drives the market. We have already studied notes and summary of this chapter. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. And with this, we have completed question answers of all the chapters of grade 9 subject Social Science part 1. If you like the video, kindly like, hype the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive new video notifications. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.